Hi guys, welcome to another week of case studies. Let's start with the indexes first. So as you see, Nasdaq is actually, this is Nasdaq futures is actually attempting to break out from the all-time high, which looks like it's going on lah. Okay, so things look good in US, and then followed by the Dow Jones. Dow Jones has already formed a new all-time high lah. Okay, so again look good for US. S&P 500 is a bit far lah, okay, about 2% from the all-time high, so that doesn't it looks quite good. Also 2000 looks to be, it's like already coming up from this downtrend line. I think it will be something like this, and also coming out from this sideways box lah. Okay, so on US side I think things look quite good. 10-year yield seems to be going lower, 2 years as well, but seems to have found some support lah. Okay, and also the 5-year yield. Dollar index is kind of sideways if you ask me, okay, within here, but seems to be finding some support lah. Okay, VIX is kind of at a 52-week low, or maybe an all-time low, I'm not sure. Looks pretty good. Short index for QQQ is similar to what the US 10-year yield is. It's at support, or maybe found a new support lah. Okay, yet to be determined. Same as this, and same as the semiconductor short. SOXL seems to be going up, but Friday's candle doesn't look so good. Hang Seng Index again doesn't look good despite whatever comes out. Okay, it seems to have a short-term bounce lah over here. Okay, it's already reached 16,000 already. China is also doing bad. It seems to be going lower and lower. Okay, forming, I can't find a base yet. Nikkei index is actually sideways, not able to break out from the previous high. UK all seems to be starting to rally higher. Okay, so need to see lah whether it can cause more inflation or not. KLCI index actually seems to be pretty good. I think most stocks on Friday also seem to be performing quite well lah. Okay, so that's a good sign. Small cap index seems to have rebounded as well, seems to have formed a higher low along the way, so I hope that it will form a higher high as well. Properties index are flat, sideways. REITs are as usual sideways. Energy seems to be rebounding in tandem with oil prices. Finance is quite good. I think it's going to break out because I see quite a lot of finance counters are doing well. Utilities index not bad actually, seems to be going to attempt to break out from this area. Construction is not bad as well, but I didn't really spot any nice construction counters except one lah. Okay, so seems to be, you know, forming around a cup kind of form. Okay, technology I think is slowly coming up. A lot of technology lovers around. Plantation not bad as well. Generally I think most of the indexes or sectors I see are not bad. Industrial products I think still sideways. Healthcare I think depends quite much on gloves, and currently I think COVID cases are on the rise, so healthcare index is going higher lah. Okay, consumer I think sideways, nothing much. Transport nothing much as well, and telecommunications I think is bad lah. Okay, so yeah, let's go over to the case studies for the week. Okay, first we start with Natgate, tech counter. I think Natgate looks quite good. Found its bottom, kind of like a double bottom over here, rallied higher, formed base along the way, and currently the base is at 1.38 lah. Okay, so it has actually retested this 1.38 resistance and turned into a support and attempting to go higher. Okay, so for me Natgate looks quite interesting. Next is MSM. Somehow the counter always has negative quarter report, but of course still goes higher. It's a sugar counter, and I think sugar is in demand lah. There's more demand than supply for sugar in Malaysia. Currently it's already at its 52-week high, so I think generally the counter looks quite good lah. Okay, if we look at it on a weekly chart, it looks more like a rounding bottom coming, okay, to about 1.79. If 1.79 comes, then a 1-to-1 will reach about 2.87 lah. Okay, just bear in mind MSM is not a cheap counter last time. It used to be about 5 to 6 ringgit one. Okay, let's go to the next counter. Dpharma I think also requested in the chart review side. Dpharma is generally doing good. If you see Dpharma, there's some formation over here lah. 1, 2, and then 3. So this one looks pretty good, and then it broke out lah. Okay, so currently it's standing at the next resistance at 1.28. Following weeks will tell you whether it's a continuation or it's just a attempt to rally lah. Okay, so this one looks quite interesting. Next is Cscenic. Kind of broke down from the downtrend line finally after such a long time. Okay, you can see over here it's okay, after such a long time line it's finally broken down, but there is still some selling force over here lah. Okay, there's still some selling force over here, and it didn't manage to close high lah, but the closing is actually quite nice lah. Okay, it's above the downtrend line. So you need to see next week whether it continues or not. Most likely, if there's some kind of resistance, it will form a pullback, a small cup before it attempts to go higher. Okay. Then next is Gtronic. I think this is one of the stronger tech counters available. Okay, so for Gtronic, you can see I believe the resistance should be about 1.7 to 1.71 lah. Okay, and then it managed to break out already and it's continuing higher. Volume is also pretty healthy. If you look at here the volume is quite low while it's going down, then going high, the volume is quite good lah. Okay, there is some form of a bull and bear fight over here, so you will need to give some time for that to resolve. Other than that, it's kind of good lah. Okay, you can see it's quite a steep uptrend, so I believe there should be some form of pullback soon lah. Okay, for Gtronic, quite interesting to see a chart break 52-week high so early into a mini bull run starting. Okay, Uzma, of course, depend on oil and gas counters. Oil prices. So if you look at Uzma, it's kind of something like this. Oil prices are also going up lah. So Uzma, I think, looks pretty good. Forming why I took this is because it's forming higher low already. Okay, even though there's no higher high yet lah. So I think Uzma may perform if, let's say, the oil prices continue going higher lah. Okay, quite interesting. Allianz, okay, this is an expensive stock, but do take note that after this consolidation over here from the bottom, it has rallied about 20% lah. Okay, so if you look at here, this is a kind of a mini VCP, 1, 2, and then 3. So it looks poised to break out lah actually. Okay, but of course this candle is not so encouraging lah. This candle quite high volume. Other than that, I think it's quite nice to just put it into a case study to see whether it succeeds or not lah. Okay, I have a feeling that it will succeed, but it may not last long lah. Okay, that's why I just put it into a case study. Next counter, Masteel. Steel counters may have some interest now. Let me just look at WELLCAL after this. If you look at Masteel, you can see that previously the volume is extremely dry, and all of a sudden the volume has been rallying quite well on Thursday and Friday lah. Okay, so resistance is definitely at 0.345, and it will need to break to go higher lah. Okay, it's not really that bad, the chart since previously. Okay, you see Masteel has been kind of in sideways. Currently it seems like there's not much seller already lah. Okay, if you look at the past, the last time it had such low sellers and higher volume came in, it did rally a bit. Okay, let's say over here, let's say from the bottom here, it did rally about 30% before it started to consolidate, and this consolidation is not bad lah. It's actually a higher base compared to previously. Okay, so if it does succeed, you may see something like this kind of formation. Okay, so yeah, if a 1-to-1 from the bottom, you may see something like let's see, where is it? 1-to-1 rally, you may see something like this coming lah. Okay, which is so coincidentally the previous resistance as well. Okay, so yeah, that's for Masteel. Next is Star. Star actually looks not bad. Volume has actually dried up since the last rally. Okay, you can see 1, 2, then 3 lah. Okay, but the base is a bit long lah. Okay, the volume is quite good, it's a bit long, so we will wait to see whether it's able to continue going higher or not lah. Okay, next, MRCB. I think this is the only property or construction counter that I have. one like this, so this is definitely a resistance 0.46, and then your first low is here, your second higher low is here lah. Okay, so kind of it's like this already, looks quite good lah in my opinion. Okay, so I don't know whether there's a property rally or not, or maybe it's linked to some MRT tree or whatever it is lah. Okay, so generally I think it looks not bad lah. Okay, next is WELLCAL. I think I had this as a case study where WELLCAL first broke into the 52-week high. Yeah, here. Okay. So since then it has been rallying higher, and it has kind of attempted to touch the 50 days moving average twice, and then since went higher lah. Okay, a stock usually touches the 50 days moving average if it uses it as a support for about 3 or 5 times before it actually pierces through. Okay, so this is quite early. Currently, I think it has found some new support here, 1.65, although of course 1.62 would have been better because that was the previous resistance area lah. Okay, but this is kind of not a confirmed support anyway until it proves itself lah. Okay, but the volume for the past 2 days has been quite low, so it may be no more sellers already over here. Okay, there kind of isn't a real resistance for WELLCAL lah, cause you know it's already a 52-week high and it's above it already, so most likely there isn't really any much resistance over here. Okay, next is INFOM. So if you look at INFOM, it really looks quite good lah. Okay, after the breakout from here, even though high volume have got sellers also, which is why you see the stock is kind of struggling now. So if you look at it, the stock is kind of struggling within this zone lah over here. Okay, within this zone is kind of struggling to actually go higher. Okay, so it needs to overcome this zone first, and then you will see most likely you can continue going higher lah. Okay, because this volume is quite high, but half of it is actually sellers lah. Okay, that's for INFOM. MUHIBAH, I think the head and inverse head and shoulders kind of materialized, although there is an extra shoulder over here. It actually happens lah. It's not to say it doesn't happen. So you can see that it's kind of like this, and then it broke out lah. Okay, so I think it will kind of come to retest either this zone, which is already tested, 785, or the 78 area lah, before it actually attempts to go higher. Okay, 78 will be, you know, coincidentally the head and shoulders neckline, and also 785 will be the previous resistance before it actually had a huge candle climbing higher lah. Okay, but you can already see there's still some form of resistance here lah. I don't know why MUHIBAH has so much resistance above. Okay, and of course the last stock will be INFOTEC. INFOTEC actually broke out already. This inverse head and shoulders actually broke out already, but somehow it's not climbing higher lah. The highest it climbed is here, previously 84, then it went 85, and it seems to be hovering around this zone lah. Nothing so much interesting lah for INFOTEC, but yeah, for me I think it's still bullish lah. It's still going uptrend, and the stock needs some time lah. Okay, even though there's a huge candle coming down, you can see that the selling volume is very thin. So most likely it was more to retailers maybe getting bored of the stock not climbing higher already. Okay, so yeah, that will be all for my case study list this week. Just a disclaimer before we end. Of course, this entire video is for education only. It's an educational video, and it should not it's not a buy or sell call, and should not be considered as a buy or sell call lah. Okay, if you require a buy or sell call, please look for your licensed remiser or your licensed financial advisor, because this video is just for educational purpose only lah. Okay, so that will be all for the case studies this week, and I'll see you again next week lah. Okay, thank you, bye bye.
If you liked this video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more videos.